Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of December the 16th, 2024. Now, we enter this week on Monday the 16th, coming out of that full moon in Gemini energy. So things will feel a little volume up this week. Now, part of that is also because we're dealing with 2 points of tension in the week and also 2 points of blessings in the week. So let's hop in and see what's going on with the astrology. Now, as we begin the week, we have Pluto beginning to make wonderful connections to the nodes of the moon. Now, remember, the nodes are moving backwards. They're finishing up their time in Aries and Libra. This is why there's so many relationships kind of coming to a tipping point at this time, right? Big decisions are being made. And that Plutonian energy is there in Aquarius, asking people to upgrade things, to evolve things, to make sure that the relationship, whether it's a love relationship or a business partnership, that it's built to last in the coming times of change and evolution. Now, this is a 19-year cycle. I've mentioned this before. Back in 2005, early 2006, you can look at some of the themes that might be coming through now. Now, at the same time, we have that beautiful Pluto support to the nodes. The sun is going to come into a T-square with the nodes at the end of the week. And so that change that Pluto may be beginning to initiate, that Capricorn dutiful position of the sun is going to want things to stay the same. And so that will introduce some tension at the end of the week to those same karmic points. So if you can look at your areas of life and look and see where Pluto is just commencing this 20-year revolution within the Aquarian area of life, how that is currently harmonizing with Aries and Libra, that can kind of help you to understand when you feel the tension coming from the Capricorn area of life, where it's focusing you, where it's pushing you or prompting you to renovate something so that it has more strength, you feel more empowered, so that you're partnering in a positive way and not a negative way, all right? So that's part of the reason that all the relationship karma just feels so loaded right now and so important. It's because it is. I think we all know many somebodies who are going through relationship turning points at this time. So a lot of those themes will be coming up this week. Now, at the same time that is coming up, we also have the Saturn square to Jupiter strengthening. And in fact, this week is when it comes to its exact square. So we have Saturn in the sign of Pisces, right? And so wherever that area of life for you is, that water energy is clashing with the air energy of Jupiter in Gemini. Now, this classic combination of Saturn and Jupiter absolutely initiates really large turning points and cycles in life. Now, their meeting point was back in late 2020. Now they're in the square configuration. They're going to be bouncing in and out of the square for a while due to the retrogrades, but there's something that Saturn is asking you to solidify, to strengthen, to build better. And Jupiter is asking you not to get too scattered. Jupiter's going to show you way too many options. Jupiter and Gemini is going to want to talk all about it and not do anything about it. So that's where you have to find that harmony between the Gemini area of life and the Pisces area of life. And I think in a lot of ways, the answer to these questions is to be less wrapped up in the mental constructs and more in touch with the intuitive and inner understandings of what's happening, right? It's almost, I get the image, I don't know if you've ever seen like a table where you have a magnet underneath it that moves the things on top. And so there's this influence that you can't see. That's very much where I feel like, because Neptune is co-present with Saturn in Pisces, there's this movement that we're not sure what's going on. And I think you can definitely see this out in the collective as well. People are getting angry at certain groups or pointing fingers at certain people that maybe not even be the person who's actually causing the issue or the problem. That is part of the struggle that Saturn has when it's in Pisces. So some of those themes you'll be feeling throughout this week. And so try not to get caught up in the tension of that, because it can feel very frustrating. Remember, even though Mercury is out, Mercury is still in the still in the retrograde phase and doesn't come out until the 2nd of January. We also have the Mars shadow zone or Mars retrograde actually happening at the same time. So there's not going to be a straight forward momentum here. Now, as we get into the middle of the week, we also have the sun in sunny Sagittarius square to Neptune in Pisces. And so this, remember, it's just finishing up at the beginning of the week. It's finishing up its journey through Sagittarius. And so Sagittarius wants to move forward. It's fire energy. It's like, let's go, let's do, let's explore, let's see, let's experience. And then this Neptunian energy says, oh, well, but maybe this thing is over here. Oh, but maybe that's over there. There can be a little uncertainty. It could also introduce some fatigue. I feel like Neptune Sun can also bring in just some tiredness, some sense of just like, oh, this is exhausting, because it's not clear how you're going to move forward. Now, as I mentioned, the Sun comes into the square with the nodes. That is after it slips into the sign of Capricorn on the 21st, and that is our winter solstice, when the Sun goes to 0 degrees of the sign of Capricorn. And that is when the Sun begins to return to the light, okay? And so we begin to foster some hope for that return. The days begin to get a little longer. It's a little bit of a guiding light as we move into some of the coldest, darkest months in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, I think it's really important to stay super grounded with a lot of this energy. I do want to mention there are a couple pretty significant moon voids. On the 17th, the moon is void 1:33 p.m. Eastern till 6:39 p.m. Eastern, so that's going to feel really floaty. And then again, on the 22nd, the moon is void from 8:27 a.m. Eastern in the morning till 2:08 p.m. Eastern. So keep that in mind if you're trying to accomplish something, have something that sticks, that stays, that's solid. The moon void times are not positive for that, all right? So as far as the benefits of the week, I didn't even mention this. Mercury in Sagittarius, from the very beginning of the week, is flowing beautifully with Mars and Leo in what we call a trine. So the more broad-minded you can be, more that philosophical Sagittarius energy, more open to possibility, more willing to look at other people's points of view, more willing to look beyond your own tiny realm of expertise, read a new book, listen to a new podcast, expand your knowledge base and be more open. That will help you to move forward in some way, right? That Mars and Leo energy is going to want you to take action. And remember, it's retrograde, so it might be something you're having to redo or re-examine, right? Might be a little bit of feeling of like there have been some false starts, but you're still making traction, don't worry. So lean into that positive mercurial energy for problem solving and for new ideas that can help move you forward. We also have this week a beautiful Venus in Aquarius trine to Jupiter in Gemini. Now, when Venus is in Aquarius, she's got a little bit of a cold edge to her. It's not the most touchy-feely location for Venus, but she's definitely a humanitarian when she's in this sign, and she's vibing so beautifully with the Jupiter in Gemini. So it's a very expansive, communicative energy. Now, you've got to watch anytime the benefics, Jupiter and Venus, come into a positive contact. There can be a little bit like, woo, let's throw money at this problem, or let's overindulge, or let's overextend ourselves. But also with the fact that we have these other tension points this week, I think we're really going to love to lean in to that little bit of hopefulness that I think that connection between Venus and Jupiter will bring. This also might bring more of a concern for the collective, and also an understanding of how to take and upgrade our understandings of different technological uses and how they can help us. There's a lot of talk about how technology is really something we have to watch and something we have to be careful. But there are certain aspects of technology that also are going to be very useful and helpful to us. And this could be a week where we maybe take a peek at some of those positive aspects of those advances. All right. Now, I'm also really liking Pluto positive to the nodes. I'm trying to get down with change, right? I'm trying to embrace change. I'm a good Taurus. Don't always dig change, but Pluto is there to support us in that evolution in our relationships so that they're positive for us and helpful for us in the next phase of life. Now, as far as the shadow, spent plenty of time talking about those, right? The Sun square Neptune, a little bit confusing. Sun square the nodes. It's a T-square, really, I've talked about this before. It's when the nodes are standing across the sky from each other, asking like independence, partnership, anger, peace, fire, air. They're asking for some harmony here, for positive expressions of both. And then when the Sun picks up that difficult angle to both, it's kind of like dueling with both of them. And especially because it's just moving into the sign of Capricorn, right? It's just like, here I come, dang, boom, there we are, in this sense of conflict with relationships. So I would definitely watch the shadow of that. And then finally, the Jupiter square Saturn. This is a slow burn, okay? Because of the retrograde cycles, it's just been kind of building over last month through this month. But it's definitely something that causes major events, not just in our lives individually, but in the collective as well. Saturn asks for hard work, for discipline, for structure, to get real about things. Jupiter wants to make it bigger, wants to take on everything, wants to always say yes. And so there has to be a balance between those forces in order for us to grow. All right, well, I hope you found this useful and helpful. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Please share it with a friend if you found it useful. And stick around, we'll take a look at the Isis Lotus Tarot to see what it has to say about this week. Hello, my beautiful friends. Let's take a look at our Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of December the 16th, 2024. So again, as I mentioned, there's some positive energy. We've got that nice Jupiter Venus. We've got that lovely Sagittarius Mercury, the mind flowing with Mars, our action planet. But boy, we have some other tensions, yeah? Definitely a week of relationship shifts and evolutions, especially if there's any kinds of disruption or instability in those relationships. So let's take a look at the Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the collective for the week of the 16th. Alrighty, so as we begin the week, we're coming from the past. The basic influence of the past is Six of Swords, trying to get to a better place. And you've got to be change adept, okay? There's some big shifts coming, and so you have to be a little bit nimble, a little bit ready to let go, to adapt, to change. The present environment, Nine of Cups. So you're really leaning into things that feel good, that make you happy. Maybe you're planning for the holidays. Maybe you're planning to have better boundaries for the holidays. Whatever it is, you're really trying to find a sense of happiness. As these energies come together, we have the Tower, which means change, sudden and sometimes shocking change. Now, the key card of the future is the Queen of Wands, the woman who takes care of things, nurtures, tends, very active. She's a very active queen, okay? She doesn't sit around and wring her hands. She does something about it. So this is you. And the opposing forces in play. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Opposing forces in play, we've got the Page of Swords, which is this potential kind of, immature, the mind is like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like that. It's kind of a whiny energy. Or the Lovers, connecting deeply and passionately to something that is really great for you. Could be a person, could be a situation. All right, near future key card is the Strength card. So embrace that Mars and Leo energy of being intuitive, having pride, being comfortable with attention, but also gentle. It's that compassion makes you the strongest person, right? The people that are taking advantage of other people, those are not strong people, okay? Those are frightened people that feel like they need to lash out at others, right? She is wise. She is strong. She is patient, all right? Now, the modifiers for her on the Page of Swords side, we have the Six of Cups. Potentially some kind of cycle coming back around. You're like, I've seen this movie. I've seen this situation before. On the Lover's side, we have the Two of Wands, a choice to be made, a crossroads to be approached. All right. And then over with the Page of Swords, the Six of Cups, we also have the Queen of Swords. So this would be when the page kind of matures a little bit and is like, okay, my mind has been devouring me. My mind is creating all these negative, potentially upsetting configurations in my mind. The Queen of Swords says, sweep that away and let's be logical. On the Lovers and Two of Wands side, we have the Three of Pentacles, which indicates once you make that decision, and you will, that you will begin to work on something new. All right, now our two possible progressions or solutions on the Page of Swords side. So we've got that youthful energy, that idea energy, of something that may have come up from the past that we need to approach very logically. Here's the Star. So we do come up with a healing solution to the Tower situation. On the Lover's side, we've got this perfect situation. Then there's this like crossroads of how we're going to go about it, which direction to take. We start working on it, and the Magician reminds us, don't lose heart, you can do it. On the Page of Swords, Six of Cups, Queen of Swords, and Star side, we have the Four of Wands. So this will work out, even if you're feeling a little agitated, your mind is feeling agitated, this thing that comes back around, especially if it's a home matter, you will find the right situation. You will come to safety, okay? Over on the Lover's side, this like perfect situation that you decide to start moving towards, you get the encouragement, yes, you can do this, but you've got to set good boundaries first. You've got to make space in order to accomplish the mission if you're going to move forward. This could also be other people disagreeing with you. So as we arrive in the week, we are coming into this space of needing to get to a better place, okay? And we are change adept, ready to make some allow some things to really shift. Now, we're really also looking for something that it feels good emotionally, makes us happy, and feels abundant. And as these things all come together, there is going to be a change, right? You can't desire something and not create a certain level of change, right? And then we begin to nurture, care, and work towards this new beginning. Now, the Page of Swords side, right? It's like, the mind. The mind is maybe not your asset or ally, but you engage with the strength, energy, the patience and compassion, the wisdom, the gentleness, the, thinking things through, not being rash, leaning into the Venusian vibe. And then this thing that maybe you've considered before or was something that maybe is involved in the Mercury or Mars retrograde, you're going to just approach it super rationally. You're going to do the healing work and create that safe environment for you and your family. On the other side, we've got more of a passion project, something coming together. Wow, this is something you really want, okay? And it presents itself. You still have to engage in that same strength energy of, not rushing, not pushing, not getting angry, being wise, balanced, understanding, but strong. What's that quote? Don't mistake my softness for weakness, right? And then there'll be a kind of a decision-making process, right? You have the right thing, but there's a couple different ways you could go about it, but you have to move. I mean, you have to keep moving, all right? And that's what this side is all about, making that progress and having a certain element of confidence. If at any point during the week you feel like you're really engaged in healing practices, I think this is your side, the Page of Swords side. If on the other side you're really feeling fired up and into what you're doing and knowing that you have this guidance, surrounding you and in leading you forward, then I would say that you're on the Lover side of things. But it doesn't still mean you won't have to set some boundaries here, okay? It's part of it could be other people kind of interfering. Part of it could be other people not understanding. Remember, so many people are so attached to digging in and staying the way they are, even if it's dysfunctional, even if they're miserable. They get attached to that and they're not willing to change. But this is the spread of somebody who is willing, able, and ready to change and next level their life. And that's you. All right, my darlings, I hope this was useful and helpful. If it was, please leave me a comment, like, share, hop on the website, got lots going on. And I wish you a most marvelous week. This is one of the better weeks for sure. The end of the month is tense. So take advantage of some of these positive flows of energy. And I'll see you next week. Bye.